Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Wednesday, 25th of September 2024. This day is celebrated as World Pharmacists Day. It's a global healthcare event celebrated on September 25th every year since 2009. It commemorates the anniversary of the International Pharmaceutical Federation, which was established in 1912 to recognize the vital role of pharmacists in the healthcare systems around the globe. Antyodaya Divas, September 25. Also, it marks the birth anniversary of the Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyaya, a prominent Indian philosopher, political thinker, and a leader of the Bharatiya Jana Sangh, which was a precursor to the Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP). Starting the newspaper analyst with the newspaper The Hindu states that India sharing info between the Russia and Ukraine, hoping to usher in peace. External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar. Indian Foreign Minister for J.S. Jaishankar speaks in New York on September 24, 2024. There are not many countries and leaders who had the willingness or ability to engage both sides, he said. The Russian-Ukraine war is not going to be resolved on the battlefield, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said on Tuesday, September 24, 2024, adding that the government was speaking to both sides to see if it could do anything to hasten the end of the war and initiate a serious negotiations between the two countries. This is a kind of exploration that we have been doing. It is not that we have a peace plan. Mr. Jaishankar said during a discussion at the Asia Society Policy Institute in New York. Hezbollah announces death of commander after strike on South Beirut. Smoke blows after an Israeli airstrike that targeted the southern Lebanese village of Abbasia on September 24, 2024. Iran-backed group announced the death of Commander Ibrahim Mohammed Kobisi, who was martyred on the road to Jerusalem. Hezbollah announced early Wednesday, September 25, 2024, the death of the commander hours after the Israeli army said it had killed him in a strike on a Beirut southern suburbs, which Lebanese authorities said left 6 people dead. On Tuesday, September 24, 2024, Israel's army said it eliminated Ibrahim Mohammed Kobisi, the commander of the missile and rocket network of the Hezbollah terrorist organization. Lebanon's health ministry said in a statement that the Israeli enemy raid on Gobiri in Beirut's southern suburbs killed 6 people and injured 15. The Israeli military said Kobisi commanded several rocket units, including a precision-guided missile unit, and was hit along with the other commanders of Hezbollah's missiles and rocket forces. Kobisi was an important source of knowledge in the field of the missiles and had close ties with the senior Hezbollah military leaders, it said. Israeli military spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari told a media briefing that at least 2 other commanders from Kobisi forces were also eliminated. Tuvalu fights to keep maritime boundaries amid alarming rise in sea levels. A seawall is being constructed at the port of Funafuti, Tuvalu, September 6, 2024. NASA scientists projected that by 2050, daily tides will submerge half of the main atoll of Funafuti, home to 60% of Tuvalu's residents. Tuvalu and its 11,000 people who live on 9 atolls scattered across the Pacific are running out of time. NASA scientists projected that by 2050, daily tides will submerge half of the main atoll of Funafuti, home to 60% of the Tuvalu's residents, where villages cling to a narrow strip of land. Russia can only be forced into a peace, Zelensky tells United Nations. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noble Barrot speaks as a Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky looks on during United Nations Security Council meeting on the conflict between Ukraine and Russia at the United Nations headquarters in New York City on September 2024. Mr. Zelensky also joined the United States in pressuring Iran and North Korea for alleged military support to Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Tuesday, September 2024, at the United Nations are that Russia can only be forced into a peace settlement as if war would not negotiate on Moscow's terms to end the war. Addressing a special United Nations Security Council session attended by a representative of Russia, Mr. Zelensky also joined the United States in the pressuring Iran and North Korea for illegal military support to Russia. Going to the Hindustan newspaper stated that physical smart fencing to soon come up along the Myanmar border. The fence itself will be built not on the border but 150 meters from it, as is the usual practice. The proposed 1643-kilometer long border fence between India and Myanmar will be a mix of physical and smart fencing and the border guarding force. Assam Rifles AR will likely erect border outposts in the surrounding plains once the fence is up. Officials aware of the matter said. The use of outposts in the concept adopted by border security forces along the Indo-Pakistan border in the western frontier and the Indo-Bangladesh border in the east. Personnel at the border outposts have vantage points from where they keep an eye on a large area along the border. At the currently unfenced Indo-Myanmar border, Assam Rifles had so-called company operating bases from where its personnel fan out. Assam Rifles personnel on the ground said that having outposts in the hills and jungles is not a great idea. Jammu and Kashmir Assembly elections 2024 live updates 10.22% turnout recorded till 9 a.m. in 26 seats. Jammu and Kashmir Assembly election 2024 live updates. People queued up at polling stations in the Gander Assembly constituency. Jammu and Kashmir Assembly elections 2024 live updates. The second phase of the voting on 26 seats in 6 districts for the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly elections has begun on Wednesday, September 25 and will conclude at 6 p.m. Security has been tightened in the key constituencies such as Rajouri, which has along with the Punish and Riyasi has witnessed a surge of terror attacks over the last few years. More than 1.5 million voters will decide the fate of the 239 candidates, including 79 in the Pir Panjal region of the Jammu. During the second phase of election, this is the first assembly election being held in the Jammu and Kashmir in 10 years after the abrogation of Article 370. Go back, step down. Bangladesh nationals are protest against Muhammad Yunus in the United States over attacks on Hindus. Bangladeshi nationals raised slogans during the protest against the head of the Bangladeshi interim government, Muhammad Yunus, over attacks on the minorities in their country outside a hotel in New York where he was staying for attending the 79th United Nations General Assembly session on Monday. A large group of Bangladeshi nationals in the United States staggered to a protest against the Muhammad Yunus, who is leading the Bangladesh's interim government, over the illegal attacks on the minorities in the country on Tuesday. The protests took place outside a hotel in New York, where Muhammad Yunus is staying for attending the 79th United Nations General Assembly session. Prime Minister Modi not expected to meet Bangladesh's Yunus on United Nations General Assembly sideline as Muhammad Yunus took the power unconstitutionally, illegally. He captured the power with the dirty politics, and a lot of people have been killed. So far, our elected PM Sheikh Hasina, she has not resigned. We requested United Nations humbly that he did not represent the Bangladeshi people here, the protester told the news agency ANI. Going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, ADB retains India's growth forecast at 7%. Government spending agriculture to boost economy. The Indian economy grew 8.2% in the last fiscal 2023-24. The RBI projects the growth to be 7.2% in the current fiscal. Asian Bank Development. The Indian economy grew 8.2% in the last fiscal of 2023-2024. The RBI projects growth to be 7.2% in the current fiscal. The Asian Development Bank ADB on the Wednesday retained India's growth forecast for the current fiscal at 7% and said that the economy is expected to accelerate in the coming quarters on improved farm output and high government spending. In its Asian Development Bank ADO update of September, the ADB has said exports in the current fiscal will be higher than the earlier projected, led by larger service exports. However, merchandise export growth will be relatively muted through the next fiscal. GDP growth is expected at 7% in the fiscal year 2024. Financial year 2024 ending 31st of March 2025 and 7.2% in the financial year 2025, both as forecast as in ADO April 2024. The ADB has said, adding that the India's growth prospects remain robust. The Indian economy grew 8.2% in the last fiscal 2023-2024. The Reserve Bank of India projects the growth to be 7.2% in the current fiscal. From the business point of view, after taking haircut, State Bank of India to invest to defaulters' premium infrastructure, SBI, the India's largest bank, has proposed to invest rupees 24.33 crore in SIL's preferential allotment, acquiring 28.55 lakh shares at rupees 85.23 per share, giving the bank of an equity stake of 2.08% stake in the company, according to the exchange filings. When asked about the debit conversion plan and haircut, State Bank of India and SIL did not respond the mails from the Indian Express. After revision of the monetary limits for the tax appeal, the Supreme Court strikes of 573 direct tax cases. The Finance Ministry said the measures are expected to significantly reduce the burden of tax litigation and expedite the resolution of tax disputes in alignment with the government's efforts to promote ease of living and ease of doing business. Around 4,300 cases are estimated to be withdrawn from the various judicial forms. Over the course of time, the ministry said the 4,300 cases would include 700 cases in ITAT, 2,800 cases in High Courts, and 800 cases in the Supreme Court. From the aviation point of view, blending mandates for domestic flights likely only after global mandates take effect in 2027. The government has been working on a roadmap for introduction of SAF in domestic flights, and there were indications earlier that some sort of the blending mandate or recommendation could take effect over the next couple of years. It has seen as a price-sensitive aviation market, and fuel accounts for around 40% of the Indian airlines' operational expenses. This makes the carriers particularly cautious and sensitive to any fuel-related cost escalation. Going towards the world news, including Iran's President Pezeshkian signals willingness to engage constructively in the global affairs. Woman alleges Skeen Diddy Combs raped and filmed her in the latest lawsuit. Qatar becomes the second Muslim majority nation to join United States visa waiver program. United States citizen breaks a record for the largest feet and hands, says people are usually amazed. Harris ups led over Trump, but presidential race still on knife edge. Sri Lanka's new president Anura Dinasyanke calls snap parliamentary elections to cement power. Going towards the science and tech, we have United States nuclear power plants won't power up big techs. Artificial intelligence, ambitious right way. Microsoft's plan to restart a 3 Mile Island nuclear reactor to help power its data centers reflects the hopes that nuclear energy can be answer to its massive electricity needs. The announcement follows a similar agreement in the March in which Amazon.com purchased the nuclear-powered data center from the Talen Energy. And other nuclear contracts for data centers are in the works, power industry sources say. A plan by Microsoft to use the restart of a 3 Mile Island nuclear reactor to help power its expanding data centers reflects the tech industry's hope nuclear energy can be quick and climate-friendly answer to its massive electricity needs. But it will be tough to swiftly meet soaring power demand from the data centers behind artificial intelligence with new or resurrected nuclear reactors, as the companies will face high regulatory hurdles, potential fuel supply obstacles, and sometimes stiff local and environmental opposition. Meta will not immediately join European Union's Artificial Intelligence Pact ahead of new law. The pact is a temporary measure before the bloc's Artificial Intelligence Act comes into the full effect. Meta will not immediately join the European Union's Artificial Intelligence Pact, a company spokesperson said. Meta platforms will not immediately join the European Union's Artificial Intelligence Pact, a company spokesperson said on Tuesday. Once again, the pact is temporary measures before the bloc's Artificial Intelligence Act comes into full effect. The AI Artificial Intelligence Act entails that companies will be obligated to provide detailed summaries of the data used to train their artificial intelligence models. Last month, the European Commission said the majority of the rules of the Act will start applying on August 2nd, 2026. Until the law kicks in, the companies are encouraged to sign up to a voluntary artificial intelligence pact to implement key obligations of the rules. Could global warming impair the weather and climate forecasting? Appear at a high tide after the passage of a Hurricane Beryl in Oceanus near Bridgetown, Barbados. Hurricane. It is critical we assess the costs and benefits of the considerable human, financial, and computational resources for climate projections out to 2100. With the record warming of 2023-2024, we are getting a clear picture of what global warming does. The medley of extremes across the planet have covered the gamut from deadly heat waves to devastating cyclones and floods, from the droughts to wildfires. Beaches on the moon suggest it had volcanoes more recently than thought. This December 2nd, 2020, image taken by the panoramic camera on board the lander ascender combination of the Changes 5 spacecraft shows the patch of the lunar surface after it landed on the moon. The findings are based on the China's Chang'e Empire mission and raise the new mystery that Chandrayaan-4 could help answer. Scientists widely believe a volcanic activity on the moon ceased about a billion years ago. A study published in the Science on September 5 called this idea into question, with evidence suggesting the moon had active volcanoes as recently as 120 million years ago. Google rolls out artificial intelligence video editing tools in photos. Google is rolling out new videos editing tools in its Photos app with the aim to make it easier for users to edit their videos. Google is rolling out artificial intelligence edit presets in its photo apps with the aim to make it easier to edit favorite videos into the sharpable clicks. Google is rolling out new video editing tools in its photo apps with the aim to make it easier for users to edit their videos to shareable clips. Users will find the video editor and Android devices displayed prominently for quick access. The update includes updating trim tools, auto enhance button, and a speed tool which allows users to adjust the video speed, enabling both fast-paced action and dramatic slow motion effects. Last, there's a famous quotation by a famous philosopher known by his famous name Rabindranath Tagore. Birth anniversary 7 May 1861 up to 7 August 1941. Was a Bengali poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, and a painter of the Bengal Renaissance. He reshaped Bengali literature and music as well as the Indian art with the contextual modernism in the late 19th and early 20th century. Author of the profoundly sensitive, fresh and beautiful poetry of Gitanjali. In 1913, Tagore became the first non-European and the first lyricist to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. Tagore's poetic songs were woven as a spiritual and a mercurial, where his elegant prose and a magical poetry were widely popular in the Indian subcontinent. He was fellow of the Royal Asiatic Society, referred to as the Bard of the Bengal. Tagore was known by the sobriquets Gurudev, Kobi Guru, and Biswa Kobi. Tagore modernized Bengali art by the spurning rigid classical reforms and resisting linguistic strictures. Have novels, stories, songs, dance, dramas, and essays spoke to the topics political and personal. Gitanjali's song offering Goda, Fair Face, and Gharibari, The Home and the World, are his best known works, and his verse, short stories, and novels were acclaimed or penned for their lyricism, colloquialism, naturalism, and unnatural contemplation. His compositions were chosen by the two nations as the national anthems, India's Jana Gana Mana and Bangladesh's Amar Sonhar Bangla. The Sri Lanka's national anthem was also inspired by his work. His song Banglar Mati, Banglar Jol has been adopted as the state anthem of West Bengal. Rabindranath Tagore says a very famous quotation. He says that we read the world wrong and say that it deceives us. Okay, thank you.